21 Mind-Blowing Facts About Turkmenistan. A country unlike any other. Number 21. Life under laws, even stricter than North Korea. Central Asia's North Korea. That's how many people describe Turkmenistan. A country where daily life is governed by invisible, bizarre, and sometimes downright unbelievable rules. It all started with the first president, Saparmurat Niyazov, from 1991 to 2006. He was infamous, notorious even, for passing a slew of strange laws the world had never imagined. Some were justified as preserving Turkmen culture, like banning opera, gold teeth, and tight spandex clothing. Yes, you heard that right. But many other laws simply came from the president's personal preferences. For example, banning dogs in the capital, Ashgabat, because their smell affects the living environment, while rabbits, guinea pigs, and parrots suddenly became popular pets. Or renaming the days of the week after his mother and relatives. Or banning smoking in public because he was trying to quit and did not want to see anyone smoking around him. Even North Korea does not have so many irrational laws. Think it stopped there? Of course not. New and bizarre regulations kept popping up. For example, a ban on young men growing beards or long hair. Only men over 70 are allowed to have beards, just like in Tajikistan. Or a total ban on lip syncing at any event. From weddings and television shows to community programs. The former president, Turkmenbashi, even shut down all hospitals and libraries outside Ashgabat, forcing people to travel hundreds of miles just to see a doctor or borrow a book. Only his successor allowed these facilities to reopen in the suburbs. With so many strange prohibitions, I think one fact is not enough, so we will split this into several parts. Think North Korea's media is tight? Maybe you have not seen Turkmenistan's. Media here is the first thing the state clamps down on. There is no private press, no international television. Everything is state-owned, serving one purpose: praising the leader, tradition, and national achievements. And the internet? Forget about it. No YouTube, no Google, no Facebook, no TikTok, no Twitter. Keywords like VPN, proxy, and anonymous are all strictly blocked. Average internet speed is over 100 times slower than in the United States. There is only one telecom provider, of course state-owned. Most people just give up on going online because it is so slow, heavily censored, and even dangerous. No surprise, Turkmenistan is one of the world's least visited countries. Getting a tourist visa here is a real ordeal. There is no visa exemption for most countries. Only a few thousand visas are issued each year. Turkmenistan has 24 consulates. Last year, only about 5,000 international tourists set foot here. So few that many travel experts do not even believe the number. Tourists are closely watched by police, banned from taking photos, restricted in their movements, and need an official government invitation just to board a plane. So, what do you think about life in this ultra-conservative society? If you had to live here, how long do you think you would last? Write your thoughts in a paragraph, not just a list. Number 20. Free energy benefits for citizens. Many call Turkmenistan the silent version of North Korea because many bans here are even stricter. But if you experience daily life here, you will find it is actually much more breathable. For over 20 years, people used water, electricity, gas, and even gasoline for free. This policy began in 1993 when President Saparmurat Niyazov declared that every Turkmen citizen would enjoy a welfare system unmatched anywhere in the world. Each person was allotted 25 kilowatt-hours of electricity, 1,765 cubic feet of gas, and 66 gallons of water per month, all completely free. Imagine this. In a place where summer temperatures can hit 122 degrees Fahrenheit, electricity is essential, clean water is scarce, and gas is every family's main energy source. Not paying any bills is like living with no utility costs hanging over your head. In 2008, President Berdimuhamedov expanded these benefits: 32 gallons of free gasoline per person per month. If you live in the United States, that is enough fuel for a month of commuting, grocery runs, and even weekend trips. No need to watch gas prices fluctuate daily. These perks created a unique Turkmen lifestyle, In many families, the gas stove is almost never turned off, not because they are always cooking, but because matches cost more than gas. Many visitors say that stepping into a Turkmen home in winter feels like entering a naturally heated room. How could the government afford this? Turkmenistan sits atop one of the world's largest natural gas fields. The Galkinish field holds over 953 trillion cubic feet of natural gas. In a place with nearly endless energy, giving it away for free was a strategy for social stability. But such wasteful use of resources could not last forever. From 2014, the government began cutting free gasoline. By 2017, all subsidies ended, and by 2019, it was official. People had to start paying again. Even so, rates are still so low that many describe them as cheaper than coffee. Electricity at about $0.007 to $0.01 per kilowatt hour, gas at $0.02 to $0.04 per cubic meter, and water is almost free again, just under a different name. Number 19. The world's only officially neutral country. Located in the heart of Eurasia, Turkmenistan is landlocked but boasts a 380-mile coastline along the Caspian Sea, the world's largest inland body of water. With an area of about 190,000 square miles, Turkmenistan is 1.5 times the size of California, but with only about 6 million people, making it one of the least densely populated countries on Earth. About 80% of its territory is the Karakum Desert, a scorching land where summer temperatures can top 110 degrees Fahrenheit, but which hides huge natural gas reserves, making this one of Asia's resource-rich countries. The name Turkmenistan means land of the Turkmen, and about 85% of the population is Turkmen, with the rest being Uzbek, Russian, Kazakh, and other minorities. The official language is Turkmen, but Russian is still widely used. The climate is desert hot like Nevada, but the air is surprisingly clean due to the lack of cars, heavy industry, and the sparse population. Most notably, while countries like Switzerland and Sweden have neutral foreign policies, Turkmenistan is the only country officially recognized by the United Nations as permanently neutral. In 1995, all 185 United Nations member states voted to support this stance. To mark this unprecedented event, an olive branch symbolizing peace was added to the national flag, and the Arch of Neutrality was built in Ashgabat. Number 18. Beauty bans for Turkmen women. Yes, you heard that right. Maybe you are used to beauty being a basic right, but in Turkmenistan, women are banned from beautifying themselves. Seriously. And to this day, none of these bans have been lifted. Recently, many women in Ashgabat have been stopped by police right on the street. They are asked to remove masks to check for lip fillers, hold their fingers up to the light to prove they are not wearing gel nails, and even forced to remove false eyelashes on the spot. The fine is about $140, half a month's salary for the average Turkmen. Put that in perspective. In the United States, where the average monthly salary is over $4,000, a $140 fine would be a big deal. Dozens of women have lost their jobs just for breast implants, lip fillers, or eyebrow microblading. For government workers, it is even worse. They are forced to sign pledges not to use any beauty services. One violation and you are fired immediately. Imagine this. Just changing your hairstyle or painting your nails could cost you your career. In many countries, women are free to express themselves. But here, even a shade of lipstick can get you investigated. It is not just beauty that is controlled, but clothing too. Turkmenistan bans women from wearing skinny jeans, short skirts, shorts, or any Western-style clothing. They are required to wear long traditional dresses with wide batty pants underneath, even though summer temperatures in the Karakum Desert can exceed 110 degrees Fahrenheit. It is like being forced to wear a winter coat in the middle of Death Valley. Hot, uncomfortable, but you have to comply. Even in education, women are not free. All female college students must braid their hair and wear a taki, a traditional hat. Girls with short hair must attach fake braids to their hats, so much so that there is now a local industry for taki with fake braids. The absurdities do not stop there. Women are almost banned from driving. Since 2018, the government has stopped issuing new licenses to women and will not renew old ones, an unofficial ban. There is no official law, but administrative procedures make it nearly impossible for women to drive. And as if that is not enough, in many provinces, women are not allowed to sit in the front seat of a car, even if it is a family member's car. After 8 p.m., women are completely banned from sitting in any car, even their fathers. Even male drivers are not allowed to give rides to women who are not relatives. Police frequently stop cars to make drivers prove their relationship to female passengers. If they cannot, the fine can be as high as $2,000, a huge amount where average incomes are very low. This makes daily life so inconvenient for women that they are almost under house arrest in their own cities. These strange rules started after the Soviet Union collapsed, as Turkmenistan tried to build a national identity. But instead of empowering women, this identity only tightened restrictions, limiting both appearance and lifestyle. Even though it is a majority Muslim country, Turkmenistan does not allow women to wear hijabs, but still forces them to wear long traditional dresses. Western styles are banned, but so are religious styles. Number 17. Marrying a Turkmen woman for a cash bonus. Setting aside the odd bans, there is one thing we have to admit. Turkmen women have a unique beauty, a blend of Central Asian elegance and the quiet strength of the desert. They are not flashy or showy, but there is an undeniable charm, like a slow-burning fire in the heart of the Karakum. The first thing that catches your eye is their colorful traditional dress. Turkmen women still wear long, hand-embroidered dresses, headscarves, large silver jewelry, and long braids, a look that is both fairy tale-like and deeply nationalistic. Today, many Turkmen women are well-educated, working in government, healthcare, or education. But traditional standards still matter a lot. No dyed hair, no fake nails, no pants in the office, and many still wear scarves to work, not for religion, but because it is considered a national aesthetic. Turkmenistan is one of the world's least densely populated countries. To encourage childbirth, the president once announced that women who have 8 or more children would receive a $250 bonus, free public transportation, free dental care, and other social perks. Sounds tempting. Many foreigners think so, especially since Turkmen women are beautiful, modest, and traditional. But do not get your hopes up. Even though it is legal, marrying a Turkmen woman is not as simple as you might think. There are real, surprising barriers that make many people reconsider after learning more. If you really want to know why foreign men usually fail to marry Turkmen women, comment 4, and I will reveal more in the next part. Number 16. Brides aren't allowed to smile at their wedding. You would think a bride's walk down the aisle would be the happiest moment of her life, right? In many places, yes. But not in rural Turkmenistan. On their big day, Turkmen brides do not wear Western-style white dresses. Instead, they wear long, ankle-length traditional gowns with bright embroidery and a tightly knotted headscarf and hat. According to traditions still alive in many villages, brides are absolutely forbidden to smile during the wedding. But the most striking thing is the bride's face. No smiling, no grinning, no show of happiness. Here, a smile is not a sign of happiness. It is a luxury, only granted after the bride proves she is a good daughter-in-law. They call it the smile of approval, and it is reserved for the mother-in-law, not the groom. When the mother-in-law is satisfied after living together for weeks, months, or even years, the bride is finally encouraged to relax her face and officially smile. This custom comes from a conservative, nomadic culture, where female modesty is a core value and all emotional displays must follow strict rules. Even today in the cities, many girls are no longer bound by this tradition, but in rural Turkmenistan, weddings are still solemn, where happiness is not found in laughter. Number 15. The world's most expensive horses. Have you ever seen a horse that shines like it is covered in gold? Not in a cartoon, not in a painting, but a real horse, galloping under the sun and glowing like a moving treasure. If not, you probably have not heard of the Akalteke, the legendary horse breed from Turkmenistan. Akalteko, also called Alteko, is the living pride of the Turkmen people, famous for its strange metallic coat. It can shine gold, silver, or even copper, depending on the light. This is not Photoshop, and it is not dye. It is a unique hair structure that reflects light like silk. Beyond its looks, this breed is incredibly tough, able to travel hundreds of miles across the Karakum Desert without rest. On the international market, Akaltikas are sought after like four-legged diamonds. One horse can be worth hundreds of thousands, or even over $1 million. But not just anyone can buy one. The Turkmen government tightly controls exports, protecting what it considers a national treasure. Number 14. One of the few countries with a national dog holiday. Turkmenistan is one of the few countries in the world to give a national title to a dog breed. Here, not only is the Akhaltik horse a national treasure, but the Alabai, large, strong, loyal shepherd dogs, are equally honored. Turkmen believe Alabai are not just pets, but symbols of loyalty, strength, and protection, traits tied to their nomadic life for thousands of years. If people in Mongolia see horses as the soul of the steppe, Turkmen see Alabai as the gatekeepers of the nation. Every April, the whole country celebrates National Alabai Dog Day, an official holiday, broadcast live on national television. You will see dogs weighing 140 to 175 pounds, as tall as a 10-year-old child, parading on stage, receiving medals from the president, competing for Bravest Alabai of the Year, and even listening to speeches praising the breed. It sounds like a military parade, and it is, except the stars are dogs. The honor goes beyond ceremony. Turkmenistan has built a national training center just for Alabai, where they are trained like a paramilitary force, herding livestock, guarding farms, patrolling borders, and even appearing in government ceremonies. This model is almost unheard of anywhere else. Some trained Alabai can sell for $20,000 to $50,000, the price of a new sedan in the United States. Top winners can fetch $100,000. The Alabai obsession even reaches politics. Gurbanguly Berdimuhamedov, the father of the current president, wrote a 272-page book praising the breed. He described them as a living fortress, protecting Turkmen from wolves, bandits, and desert dangers. In central Ashgabat, there is a 19.6-foot gold-plated dog statue on a rotating base, so everyone can see it from all sides. Turkmenistan has even gifted Alabai to Vladimir Putin and other top officials. Giving a purebred Alabai is considered like giving living gold. Number 13. The Iron Man, who pulls trucks and locomotives. Are you a gym goer? Comment below with your lifting record or the heaviest thing you have ever carried. But in this country, there is a truly special man. Locals call him David Mum, but state television calls him something even more impressive. The Iron Man of Turkmenistan. If you think pulling trucks or lifting heavy things is just a show at American strongman competitions, wait until you see what David has done, and you will understand why the whole country sees him as a symbol of strength. David's most famous feat is pulling a crane truck weighing nearly 84,000 pounds for 26 feet. To put that in perspective, that is about the weight of a Boeing 737 without passengers. But for David, that is just a warm-up. Right after that, he pulled a bus weighing about 44,000 pounds the same distance. And then came the highlight. He hooked himself to a locomotive weighing nearly 265,000 pounds and pulled it 9 feet. This is a level of strength only a handful of the world's strongest man competitors have ever attempted. Most need special ropes and gear. But David pulls using just his body, cheered on by crowds and state television cameras. To keep his body ready to pull the world, David trains 2 to 3 hours every day, focusing on leg strength, back strength, and muscle endurance. For him, pulling massive steel is not just a test of physical power. It is a mission to represent the power of Turkmenistan, exactly as national television proudly declares. Number 12. A man-made disaster. In the dry Karakum Desert of Turkmenistan, a fiery crater blazes day and night, as if the earth itself is breathing fire. It is called Darvaza, but more famously known as the Door to Hell. The story began in 1970, when Soviet geologists were drilling for natural gas in the area. During their survey, the ground suddenly collapsed, creating a huge crater nearly 230 feet wide and about 65 feet deep. When methane started leaking, scientists decided to ignite it to prevent toxic gas from spreading, thinking the fire would burn out in a few days. In 2018, Gurbanguly Berdimuhamedov tried to rebrand it as the Karakum Light, but just a few years later, he ordered the door to hell to be shut down. The reason was toxic gases affecting people, environmental damage, and the waste of valuable natural gas. The deputy prime minister was tasked with gathering scientists from inside and outside the country to find a way to extinguish the fire. A mission experts say is almost impossible. This fire is so dangerous that the area is considered off-limits. The heat can burn you with just a gust of wind, and the toxic smoke can knock out animals and people. But this very danger gives the place a haunting beauty. Flames shooting from the bottom like the breath of a monster deep underground. Economists estimate the gas burned here over decades is worth millions of dollars a year. A huge waste for a country with some of the world's biggest gas reserves. The government has repeatedly promised to close Darvaza, but the door to hell still burns, stubborn and unyielding. A permanent reminder of human mistakes. Number 11. Ashgabat's bizarre architecture. In the middle of the dry desert, Ashgabat is not your typical Central Asian city. This sprawling metropolis looks like someone threw Dubai, Las Vegas, and Pyongyang into a blender and poured it out into the desert. Turkmenistan holds some truly odd world records. Ashgabat is the city with the most white marble buildings on Earth, with over 540 structures clad entirely in marble. The marble covers over 4.5 million square feet, the size of 100 American football fields. The country is the world's biggest importer of Italian marble, far surpassing rich European countries. The capital also has the world's largest indoor Ferris wheel, inside a giant glass dome rimmed with gold. But ironically, places that should be packed with children and tourists are eerily empty. One of Ashgabat's signature images is its all-white buildings. The international airport, shaped like a falcon, is even covered in marble from the walls and stairs to the restrooms. The avenues are as wide as tank roads, the parks are perfectly manicured, and government buildings sparkle in the sun. Besides white marble, Ashgabat is famous for golden domes, gold statues, and buildings full of political symbolism. The Arch of Neutrality stands over 250 feet tall. The Independence Monument sprawls like a national park. And the most unique is the Wedding Palace, a massive three-dimensional star-shaped building that looks like a UFO landing in the desert. Ashgabat's weirdness is not just in its materials, but in its city planning. After the Soviet Union collapsed, Turkmenistan started a huge reconstruction, creating avenues so wide they are almost always empty. You can stand on the main street on a weekday afternoon and not see a single car for minutes. The city looks so perfect, it almost seems uninhabited. Ashgabat's architecture is also heavily influenced by Runama, the national moral guidebook written by the late Saparmurat Niyazov. The book's symbols, stories, and spirit are built right into monuments, public buildings, and even interior designs. Number 10. Black cars are banned. Remember how we talked about strange bans just because the president likes it that way? Here's a perfect example. Starting January 1st, 2018, people in Ashgabat woke up to find their black cars missing from parking lots. No warning, no explanation. When they asked police, they got a cold answer. You can get your car back if you agree to paint it white. It sounds like a social media joke, but it is confirmed by international sources ranging from Radio Free Europe and Radio Liberty to The Guardian. But why white? In Turkmenistan's political culture, white has become a kind of silent faith under President Gurbanguly Berdimuhamedov. He appears in public with white horses, wears white clothing, drives white cars, has white office carpets, and even asks dentists to use white marble desks. The black car ban did not start in 2018. It began in 2015 when Turkmenistan banned the import of black cars for one simple reason: white brings good luck. By November 2017, an even stricter step followed. All government officials were banned from driving any car that was not white. People were confused and financially strained. One car owner told Radio Azatlık that repainting his black car cost 7,000 manat, which jumped to 11,000 manat just 1 week later, while his average monthly salary was only 1,000 manat. In other words, to comply with the president's color preference, he had to spend almost an entire year's income. It did not stop there. Dirty cars are also banned from entering the capital. As a result, car washes sprang up everywhere along the roads into Ashgabat, and people must wash their vehicles before entering the city, almost as if they are stepping into a museum, not driving onto a public street. And if you think the driver's test in Turkmenistan is just about traffic laws, you would be wrong. Here, driving skills come after political loyalty. Applicants must memorize Runama, the propaganda book written by the late President Sapir Murat Niyazov. The exam can ask anything from the book. Get it wrong? The result is simple: no license. Number 9. Silence, the second official language in Turkmenistan. In Turkmenistan, communication is not just in Turkmen or Russian. It is also in a silent, invisible language woven into everyday life. Silence. This is probably a result of the country's harsh laws. On buses in Ashgabat, you will often see a familiar scene. Dozens of people sitting silently, no one talking loudly, no one chatting, especially never about politics. In tea shops, offices, and even at family meals, sensitive topics are wrapped in glances, polite smiles, or quiet, unspoken agreement. On national television, the news is always one-sided, praising leaders, agricultural achievements, and hand-woven carpets. There are no investigative reports, no debate shows, and no second opinions. On local social networks, discussions about national policy are automatically deleted or never shown at all. Over time, silence is no longer just a reaction. It becomes a survival skill. Parents teach their children to stay quiet the same way they teach them to watch out for trucks on the road. A glance, a slight nod, a let-it-go smile. These become a second language everyone learns without opening a single book. Number 8. You can tell where people are from by their hats. You might not know where the man in front of you is from, but if he is wearing a giant sheepskin hat like a fluffy cloud on his head, chances are he is a true Turkmen. That hat is called a telpek. Since the 7th century, Turkmen people, descendants of the nomadic Oghuz tribes, have kept close ties to their 5 original tribes, shown in their carpets, language, and especially their hats. The telpek is made entirely from natural sheepskin, thick like a lion's mane, but surprisingly light and soft. Do not think it is just for winter. Even in the blazing 110 degrees Fahrenheit heat of the Karakum Desert, Turkmen men still wear telpek because it helps keep body temperature stable in a nearly magical way. In traditional Turkmen society, the telpek is not just a hat. It is a symbol of adulthood. A boy only receives his real telpek when he becomes a young man, a solemn moment similar to a Westerner's first tie or tuxedo. In rural areas, men wear telpek at parties, tribal meetings, marriage proposals, and even horse competitions. Number 7. The people's love for carpets. Ever wondered why the Turkmenistan flag features a carpet? Simple. Turkmen people do not just love carpets, they worship them. Each carpet pattern on the flag represents one of the 5 traditional Turkmen tribes, and you can find real versions of these carpets displayed at the National Carpet Museum, one of the few museums in the world dedicated to just one single item. There is even a Ministry of Carpets, a real government agency responsible for managing all production, export, inspection, and even carpet propaganda. There is also National Carpet Day, held every year at the end of May. Carpets in Turkmenistan are far more widespread than outsiders can imagine. You will see carpets not just on floors, but on walls, tables, gates, even inside cars, and used as backgrounds for identification photos. In rural areas, carpets are considered sacred dowries. Each girl traditionally begins weaving her own carpet from birth, preparing it to take with her when she eventually gets married. Number 6. National holidays, invented at the president's whim. If you think holidays are only about history or religion, Turkmenistan will expand your horizons. Here, National holidays can be invented at any time, as long as the president announces them. One of the strangest is National Melon Day, held on the second Sunday of August. Melons are a source of national pride, and this festival celebrates them in the most Turkmen way possible. In the main square, there is a nearly 30-foot-tall melon model weighing over 22,000 pounds. More than 50 melon varieties from all provinces are displayed, with some weighing up to 66 pounds, competing for the Golden Melon title. National television broadcasts the president cutting melons and delivering a speech praising traditional agriculture, a show that lasts almost half an hour. Tourists joke that it is like Coachella for melons, except there is no electronic dance music, just a lot of melons. If Melon Day sounds strange, National Akalteke Horse Day is even more unique. The Akalteke, with its metallic coat, is a national icon, and the festival is celebrated nationwide in late April. About 1,000 horses are brought to Ashgabat for beauty, posing, coat shine, and style contests. The top prize is $40,000 for the best horse, which is carefully groomed, decorated with silver jewelry, and paraded like a superstar on a catwalk. Turkmenistan has even built a 12-ton gold statue of an Akaltek in the capital, a clear symbol of the country's national obsession. There has even been a National Women's Beautiful Hair Day, a festival so strange it sounds like a joke. But in Turkmenistan, it is real. On this day, women compete for the longest braid, with some reaching over 3 feet in length. Schools hold citywide braid competitions, and national television airs a 90-minute special praising traditional beauty. Embroidered scarves decorated with thousands of beads turn the event into a kind of fashion week, focused entirely on hair. Number 5. The world's largest artificial pool in the desert. In the dry Karakum Desert, where summer temperatures easily top 110 degrees Fahrenheit, stands one of the boldest and most controversial human-made projects ever attempted: the Karakum Canal, stretching over 850 miles. The Soviets originally wanted to turn this thirsty land into farmland, but digging a giant canal through the desert had consequences no one fully expected. Because the canal was never properly lined, Karakum became what experts now call the world's biggest leaking pipe. Between 30 and 60% of the water seeps directly into the sand, and specialists say more water is lost than actually reaches the fields. Over time, these leaks created artificial lakes dozens of miles long, and even so-called natural pools large enough for kayaking. A bizarre sight in one of Central Asia's driest regions. Ironically, the leaks also changed the local climate. Humidity rose by 10 to 20%, and vegetation spread along the canal, forming a green corridor nearly 900 miles long through the desert. But the downside is severe. The water pulls underground salt to the surface, destroying thousands of acres of farmland and cutting cotton and wheat yields. Scientists often describe Karakum as a great project in the wrong place, especially since it also contributed to draining the Aral Sea by diverting massive amounts of water from the Amu Darya River. Not stopping there, Turkmenistan later built Golden Age Lake, an artificial body of water covering nearly 1,400 square miles, roughly the size of the U.S. state of Rhode Island, right in the middle of the desert. The dream of creating a new inland sea remains fiercely debated. Water evaporates extremely fast in 110-degree heat, and international experts warn it could become a second Aral Sea, but man-made. Today, the Karakum Canal remains Turkmenistan's agricultural lifeline, but also a powerful reminder of bold decisions whose consequences can last for generations. Number 4. The only book more powerful than the Constitution. In most countries, books are for learning, inspiration, or culture. But in Turkmenistan, there is one book that was once more powerful than the Constitution, and you had to learn it to survive in society. Ruhnama, written by the late President Saparmurat Niyazov. Ruhnama is not just a memoir or a work of philosophy. It is political, ethical, spiritual, and even an exam guidebook. If you think learning national history to graduate is demanding, imagine this. In Turkmenistan, people once had to memorize Ruhnama to obtain a driver's license, graduate from high school, apply for a government job, or even win a scholarship to study abroad. Temples, libraries, and schools all displayed copies of Runama in places of honor, and students were required to memorize the first chapter starting in first grade. In some areas, people even believed that beginning the day by reading a passage would protect them from misfortune. Number 3. Turkmenistan's oldest cities. Nisa, just about 11 miles from Ashgabat, was once the first capital of the Parthian Empire, a power that even Rome feared. Today, Nisa is a UNESCO World Heritage Site with tall clay walls, ancient temples, wine cellars, and Greek artifacts, clear proof of East-West blending more than 2,000 years ago. Newly unearthed ancient inscriptions and statues show that there is still much left to discover. Merv, in the east, was once one of the world's largest Islamic cities during the Middle Ages, with an estimated population of over 500,000 in the 12th century. Merv was a major center of learning and religion, home to famous astronomers, doctors, and philosophers. But in 1221, the Mongols destroyed the city, turning it into a ghost town in a matter of days. Minarets, Seljuk shrines, and ancient tombs still stand today. Dekistan, less well known, is a hidden gem in the barren west. Here, 2 sandstone gate pillars and ruined domes sit in complete silence, making Dekistan look like a post-apocalyptic movie set. There are no residents, no signs, only wind, sand, and the echoes of a forgotten civilization. Number 2. A food lover's paradise. Turkmen cuisine is a journey of surprising flavors, where traditional dishes are made from simple ingredients but are hearty, rustic, and full of nomadic spirit. One national favorite is pulav, rice cooked with lamb, carrots, onions, and spices, usually prepared in a big cast-iron pot outdoors, like a Central Asian version of Western fried rice, but with a poetic step twist. There is also shashlik, meat skewers grilled over hot coals, a popular street food everywhere, so fragrant it can make you hungry just from the smell. A special part of Turkmen food culture is community. Meals are shared on a cloth laid on the ground called a dasturkan. Everyone sits together, eating round bread known as chorek, often dipped in meat soup or yogurt. Hot green tea is always served first as a sign of hospitality, and refusing tea can be seen as impolite. Visitors are often surprised by the local love for fermented horse milk and camel milk, traditional drinks considered true steppe elixirs. Number 1. Turkmenistan's capital, the world's most expensive city. It sounds ironic, but Ashgabat, the white marble capital of Turkmenistan, is the world's most expensive city for foreigners, according to Mercer's global survey. The ranking covers over 400 cities, based on a wide range of costs, including housing, transportation, food, entertainment, groceries, and personal services. In 2021, Ashgabat officially overtook Hong Kong for the top spot, pushing wealthy cities like Tokyo and Beirut further down the list. What makes Ashgabat absurdly expensive is not wealth, but Turkmenistan's severe inflation crisis, a collapsing manat currency, rapidly rising food prices, and a shortage of imported goods. When the local currency weakens while expatriate costs are calculated in United States dollars, the city suddenly jumps to the top of the global rankings. Here is what feels strange. For foreigners, everything is expensive, but for locals, living costs are shockingly low. That is because most Turkmen use manat, receive government subsidies, buy local goods, and live in an economy that is almost completely cut off from the rest of the world. Foreigners, on the other hand, pay for services in dollars, often based on black market exchange rates, and face an ever-shrinking supply of imported products. If you are an American visiting Turkmenistan, you will encounter a bizarre reality. A full meal can cost as little as $3 to $5. A fancy dinner for 2 people rarely exceeds $25. Local markets sell fruit, vegetables, and meat at extremely low prices. A bag of guavas, tomatoes, and potatoes may cost only $2 to $4. Rent is also surprisingly affordable. A 1-bedroom apartment in downtown Ashgabat can cost around $200 to $300 per month. While living farther from the center, $150 may be enough. Even a spacious 3-bedroom apartment suitable for a family often costs only $400 to $600 per month. Fuel is even cheaper. Turkmenistan sits on one of the world's largest natural gas fields, and there was a time when the government provided free electricity, water, and gas to the point that people barely knew what a utility bill was. Although that policy has changed, fuel still costs under $1 per gallon, a price that shocks most Americans. Of course, these low costs come with serious trade-offs. Internet service is inexpensive but painfully slow, costing around $10 to $20 per month for speeds barely sufficient for email. Imported goods are scarce, shopping options are limited, technology services are outdated, and many strict rules continue to govern daily life. If you live simply, you can survive on $500 to $800 per month, but the price you pay is a lack of freedom and choice. With these costs in mind, do you think Turkmenistan is a place you would want to visit or live? If yes, comment 1. If not, comment 0. We will share tips on how to save money while living in Turkmenistan. If you are truly interested and want to visit this country, comment 7, and we will share information about visas and other requirements for traveling to Turkmenistan. We have just explored the beautiful land of Turkmenistan together. Thank you for watching today's travel documentary all the way to the end. We hope you will continue to join us on our next journeys to discover the wonders of the world.